What's going on, MS Gym Familia? How you guys doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good day to y'all. My name is Trevor Wicken, and I am the creator of the MS Gym. I want to welcome you if you're new and tell you that this is the place that you need to be for exercise, to learn how to use your body right again, work around the damage, work around your MS damage in your body, and restore the function to your life. So this week what we're doing, you guys, is we're going through a series on pelvic tilts. All right, that's why this is called basic training. Basic training is basic, and it's training you on the basics, fundamentals. Okay, so the things that we're doing this week, this pelvic tilting, is absolutely necessary for you to be able to do a lot of other things. Okay, from sleeping well to sitting strong to standing strong to walking strong to doing deadlifts, to doing step-ups, to doing all this kind of stuff, all right? Because like I talked about yesterday, a lot of MSers get this forward lean, and we don't like that, okay? So we get this forward lean like this. So we are focusing this week on getting those hips underneath you so you can actually stand upright, okay? Because if your hips are tipped forward and that water is spilling outside the back or the front of the bucket, or if it's even spilling out of the back side of the bucket, okay? You need your pelvis in neutral, and that's what we're working on. Most people, especially those with MS, have an anterior pelvic tilt, which means that the pelvis is tilted forward. Because with MS, what happens? You get tired. With MS, do we stand more or do we sit more? We sit more. And when we sit more, the muscles up here in the front of the leg, the muscles in your gut and your abdomen, and the muscles in your back right here get super duper tight and pull you forward into that anterior tilt. So yesterday, we went over the standard standard supine or on your back pelvic tilt. Today, we're going to be going over a sideline pelvic tilt, which some people find easier. Okay, it's not that one's easier than the other; both are super necessary. But it will help you, especially if you have back pain or hip pain and you're getting that while you sleep. This helps a lot, okay? All right, so let's get rolling. So the first thing we want to do is a lot of times with pelvic tilt, things are, the muscles that get really, really tight in here are the adductors, okay? We've talked about adductors before, but it keeps coming up. And when things keep coming up, guess what that means? It's a key exercise. It's a key release. It must be done, all right? So in order to get a good sideline pelvic tilt, you've got to release your adductors. And I know you guys have heard this, some of you for the last couple months. You got to keep working on it. It does take time. Like I still have adductor spasticity stuff in here. I have to work on this every day before I work out. Otherwise, my leg gets pulled to the inside and my knees hurt. So I'm doing it for joint health and joint pain relief. You guys are probably, a lot of you are doing it so that your knees don't kiss and you can actually get your hips underneath you. All right? So let's get rocking. So what we're doing here is we're going right in, so all the way up by that inguinal crease. Okay? So we're going right up by that insertion point. And see, I'm tight today because I did a pretty good leg workout yesterday. So we're going to get right in and we're just going to rock that out. So I want you to sit up tall against the wall or your chair. Abs are in, blades are down. Do not slump, because that can really hurt your low back, especially when you're sitting on the floor. So you're going to get in there and work on that rope muscle, okay? So I'm right here working on that rope, and I'm using both hands so one hand doesn't get exhausted. So I'm using both my hands to get that adductor release, okay? So super duper important for those of you who are getting that knee kiss, those of you who are having low back pain, those of you who are having hip pain, those of you who are collapsing in when you're walking. These adductors are a massive, massive culprit, all right? So we're going to release that, and we're going to try to go all the way down. Now, again, you can use a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, and you can get in and use that. That might be an easier implement with you. Sometimes it's hard to grip that, so grab a rolling pin and rock out. So whatever your level of function is in your hands, go with it. Don't try to force using your hands when your hands don't want to move. That's not good either, okay? So I'm working my way all the way down here. That's tight today too. Woo. Party City. The adductor party is one of the most intense parties on the planet, baby. It's like the Woodstock of spasticity parties. The Burning Man of spasticity parties. The Spring break. Oh, that's funny. A spring break of spasticity parties. All right, here we go. Other side. Isn't it funny when you make yourself laugh? You're like, I'm funny today. All right, so rock this out. Get those adductors loose. Woo! Trevor had a workout yesterday, man. These are tight. Good. Get that loose. Then you can get your fist in there, kind of worked out a little bit. Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, I don't have my mic on because I'm going to be rolling around on the floor. And Mike, you don't like that. I'm working on getting one of those fitness, like aerobics instructors mics, because that's about what I need, because I'm all over the place all the time. So I'm going to look awesome. I may pull out some leg warmers. It could happen. All right, cool. Now, let's stretch it real quick. So what I want you to do is, as best you can, try to walk your legs out, okay? And then what I want you to do is I just want you to walk your hands forward. So up tall, and I want you just to walk forward as much as you can, okay? Keep yourself safe. Don't get stuck, okay? But I want you just to walk forward and then just stretch out. The adductor magnus. This is getting a little bit of pectineus, mostly the adductor brevis, magnus, lutegracilis. Okay, and watch my toes. Kind of rotate them to the outside. That'll help. Okay, and we got about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk it back up. Okay, now let's go ahead and line our side. Now, yesterday we talked about releasing the muscles on the side of your spine. And there was a really good question posted in the group about, well, I'm not real comfortable putting a ball under my back because I had a compression fracture. Good call, okay? So if you've had a fracture in your spine, I would not put a hard implement under your body. What I would do is I would use your fists, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to put your fist kind of right underneath and just find those spots, okay? It's still super important that you release some of that spasticity, even if it's around a fracture site. As long as your physician is saying that you're stable, you're probably okay. It's just that you're going to have a lot of spasticity around that fracture site, so you want to use your fist. Okay, so for those of you who do not have a compression fracture, you can use a tennis ball, or you can use your hand. A lacrosse ball is probably the hardest. Okay, so if you're just kind of feeling like, I don't, that's kind of, it hurts, it's really bad, then all you're going to do is get your fist like this, and you're just going to need your muscles in your back. So you're just going to knead them. So you just knead back and forth, okay, just like you're kneading out dough. Okay? So just like that, rocking this through. Okay? All right, so let's switch sides, because we want to get that rotation in that spine, and we want to make sure we're not all caught up. So on the other side, I'm getting my fist in there, and I'm just kneading, just going down like this. Okay? All right, so we're just getting into a spot and getting in there. Good. All right. Now, here's a pretty good stretch for that. What you're going to do is just kind of put your arms out to your side, abs are in, and then just drop your legs to one side. Okay? Hold those abs in gently, drop your legs to one side, and just let that open up, because it'll stretch out this side right here. So we're stretching out these oblique fibers, we're stretching out the erector spinae, we're stretching out the QL. Okay? So Karen, yesterday, QL, quadratus lumborum, ES, erector spinae, RF, rectus femoris. People were asking what the abbreviations were. That's what they are. All right, bring it back up, and then let's drop to the other side. So just slowly drop to this side, okay, and stretch that out. That will help with pelvic tilt. So we release the adductors, stretch it, release the erectors, stretch it, and then we can tilt better. All right? Abs are in, pull back to center, and let's get going. All right, so the side pelvic tilt, not much different in form, so to speak, than the supine pelvic tilt. It's just that we're lying on our side. Now, when people lie on their side, everybody makes a mistake of just literally like collapsing. Okay, this is not sleepy time. All right, so this is movement time, which trains you for better sleepy time. Now, what I don't want is I don't want you to hold your head up like this, because it puts you in a lateral flex position in your spine. I don't want to train your body to tilt when it's moving that direction. So you're going to lie flat, okay? So I usually just kind of hold my head like this. I have my clients hold my head or hold their head. Then what you're going to do with your legs, you're going to bring them out at 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to try to tuck my shirt in here so you can see this. Okay, so you got a 90-degree bend right here, all right? Now, if you feel a lot of spasticity like this, I'd recommend putting a pillow under your knees, okay? Or between your knees. Sorry, not under your knees. That'd be weird. So putting a pillow underneath your knee, or I said it again, putting a pillow between your knees to avoid going into adduction with that top leg. So you want to get these pretty neutral, all right? So you can also do that too by just holding your hand there. Now what we're going to do is I want you to think about it. So it's the same jam as yesterday. We're going to pelvic tilt up. So I'm taking my belt buckle and I'm pulling up this direction. Okay, so it's down, up. So you can see what I'm doing there. Down, up, like that. So down and then up. So I'm using these muscles right here called my external obliques to do that. Now in a sideline position, what we're doing here is we're actually prepping you so that when you get good at doing side pelvic tilts, we drop you down so you can do a clamshell. You cannot clamshell if your hips are in an anterior tip position. It doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't allow that femoral head to actually sit back in that joint. It just doesn't work. Like if I anterior tilt like this, like it's in my back. It's not in my hip. So when I get my posterior tilt or my neutral pelvis, I can actually rotate and use my glutes versus arching my back. Okay? Anyway, here we go. So abs are in. You're going to hold your head. Now I want your shoulders stacked, which means your shoulders are straight over each other. I don't want you to collapse down like this. I want you open. Okay? I want your hips stacked, which means they're directly over each other, and I want your knees stacked. And then what you can do, you can either grip that belt buckle or that waistband and tip, or you can actually use your hips and tip up that way. But you're still using these bad boys, all right? So I want you to pull your shoulder blade down. Abs are in, okay? We're not really doing butts on this because it's going to activate your glutes as you posterior tilt. So we're going to have our hand on our hip or on our belt buckle. It doesn't matter. So we're going to be this way. Abs are in and we tip, okay? So, and pull that pelvis up. So you can see I'm pulling it up this direction towards my ribs. And we come back down. Now don't arch your back. Just kind of go back to a neutral position. You're neutral. So we're pulling you into a proper neutral. Your neutral is probably a little bit forward. Okay, abs are in. Focus right here. And tip. So two. Let's keep this tucked in here so you can see what I'm doing. And back down. And up. 3, 2. And focus right through here. Back down. And tip. 4, 2. And back down. And tip. 5, 2, and back down. So hold this. You're holding it for about 3 seconds because you want to give your brain time to figure out what it's supposed to be doing. 6, 2, we'll go 3, and down. Go. 7, abs are in. 2, 3, I forgot to say that. So abs are in, blades down. Up. 8, 2, 3, back down. 9, 2, 3, last one, and 10, 2, 3, good. All right, so either switch sides or roll over. I'm going to switch sides. Okay, now that we kind of know what we're doing, here's something else I want to add in, is pelvic floor, okay? So as you do this, you want to squeeze your PC muscles, your pubococcygeal muscles, okay? So those are your pelvic floor muscles. So what I want you to do, you're going to pull up on your pelvic floor, meaning you're doing a Kegel exercise, or if you think about it, cutting off your urine flow midstream, those muscles that do that, okay? Those are called your PC muscles. So I want you to, now that you know what you're doing, so I want pelvic floor up, abs are in, pull the blade down, okay? Stack your shoulders, stack your hips, legs out front, and we tip. So it's a 1, 2, and come back down. 2, 2, come back down. Watch the belt buckle. Abs in, pelvic floor up. 3, 2, and back down. It's actually a 3 count. So it's 4, 2, 3, and back down slow. Using these muscles. 5, 2, 3. So you got pelvic floor up, abs are in, and then you're using these muscles. 6, 2, 3. See how my shoulder was up? Drop it down. 7, 2, 3. Back down. 8, 2, 3. Back down. 9, 2, 3. Back down. And 10, 2, and 3. Good. And relax. All right, you guys, good job. So this exercise is a good one to do on your bed. All right. So a great way to wake up is to do sideline pelvic tilts. Okay. Or a good pre-bedtime routine is to do sideline pelvic tilts. So the sideline's a little bit better for those of you who have problems laying on your back. If you have back pain, if you have something like that, sideline is a really good option. And here's the thing, you guys, if you can get the pelvic tilt down laying on your back, and then you can get the pelvic tilt down laying on your side, that's going to help you for when you go into a chair, or when you stand up, or when you change directions, or when you go up and down stairs. When there's a change of direction, your body's going to have to know how to actually stabilize that. Okay, so like if you're stepping to the side, that mimics what we just did today on the floor. So you're going to have to pelvic tilt and step to the side. Okay? If your body's only used to doing it front to back, instead of more in a sideline position, it's going to be harder to go left or right. You're going to basically only be able to go front to back. So this trains you for three-dimensional pelvic tilting, which is always good. Okay? So anyway, so that's what I want for today. I want you to practice your pelvic tilts from yesterday on your back, really focusing on using those muscle fibers, keeping that pelvic floor up and abs in, and then focus on today, working on your sideline pelvic tilts, really working on the same 3 muscle groups, okay? So if you have low back problems and if you have low back pain, this one's a good place to start. Then maybe move into the one on your back. Otherwise, do back and then do side, all right? So you guys did awesome. If you want to like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to comment on this video, comment. I had a super slammed out day yesterday, so I will get to comments today a little bit more, so keep them coming. You guys have some awesome stuff to say. And like you saw, I got some great feedback from the video yesterday about what to do for low back pain and spinal compressions and all that kind of stuff, okay? So you guys are awesome. I care for you. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And I will talk to you later. Bye.